Good evening, everybody. How are you all? Hope you're well. As always, please do give me the thumbs up and do pop me the note in the comments so I know you are present with me, whether you're joining me live now or if you're watching me later on or a little bit further in the future and catching up on tutorials. Now, first in the house, we have Carol. Hello, Carol. And next in the house, we have Kim. And then we have Trisha. Lovely to have you all join. Now, this evening, we are going to be doing some needle and thread work and a really, really pretty weave, which I've called, what have I called it? Petal Flower Weave, I think. I should know. So hello, Annette. Welcome to you all. I haven't actually got the name in front of me. Perhaps you can tell me, what did I call it? The petal weave, I think it was. Which anyway, it's really pretty. It's something you can adapt not only for a bracelet, you can also use it for a chain element of a necklace and bring all of them together and do a centerpiece. Oh, just to mention, I don't know how many of you watched last week, but this, I love this. This is so comfortable. This is one of the sample pieces that I've made. Got some gemstones. So this was from last week's tutorial. I've still got some of the products available. So in Beads by Vachil group, I'll just pull that up on here. I've also got lots of bundles, £3 for 3 strands. And they're really long strands. Let me show you. Let me know if you want to see the colour bundles later. And they're ideal for these projects, like for example the red. I mean, £3 for one each of these. I've got drops here already. So you've got the opaque red, a frosty red, and a transparent red. And for that, £3. Absolute bargain. So you would get one full bracelet out of that, and you'd almost have enough for another one, but you'd need to add a few in. Now you will need some seed beads. You can use size 10 or size 11. I am going to use size 11 seed beads. Now this is the sample. We'll have a closer look overhead as well. This is the sample one, and you can either just do a single one. Obviously you'll be able to see what it looks like as we go. These are actually 3 rows on this one. There's also 3 rows on this one as well. This one is like a lattice, isn't it? This one is a combination of different pinks, and I've used the sterling silver components on there. Now the sterling silver components are back in the Facebook group. This is the mixed ones that I've got. Now I must admit it took me 4 strands to get, not to use that amount, but to actually get that quantity and depth in colours. And that's like a chakra one that I've done. I've also done a bit of an experiment, and I thought I want to know how it comes out in terms of a weave if I used round or faceted beads. So this was, I think, 2.5 or 3 millimeter lapis. Now it's rustic. It's not as neat as the others, but I'll show you on the overhead. So let's get started. And almost forgot, how do I get the overhead? There we go. Now, so that's the one sample. Got 3 different colours in there, gold seed beads. I'll pop these to the top of the group. You can also buy the clasps, the plated clasps with the extender clasp as well. You've got these available, the sterling silver, so you get the clasp and the soldered rings for £3.40, £3.50. And let's just zoom in a little bit more so you can have a closer look. Hi, Carrie. This is the faceted lapis, which is still actually rather nice. It's not quite as neat in terms of it doesn't quite lock in as neatly as the other one, but I still quite like it. So that's the effect of this weave on a round one as opposed to a bicone. So if you've not come across bicones before, they're basically got points on them. I'm going to redo this bracelet because those two blue ones really bug me. They just don't go, and it's got to go, doesn't it? So that's my chakra bracelet. Okay, now this is what we're going to do tonight. So I've split it into 3 colours. I'm just wondering, shall I turn that round like so? Oh, where are you? No, that's not going to work, is it? Let's turn it back. I've got 3 colours here. I'm just going to move my picture to over here. That's better. These are the 3 colours that I'm using. I'm also going to be using the sterling silver clasp and soldered end as well. I am going to be using size 11 seed beads, but you can use size 10. A size 10 beading needle and 4mm bicones, but you can also use 3mm bicones too. So I've got my size 10 beading needle. You can use Nymo, you can use Wildfire, you can use Mayuki thread, whatever works for you. Now let's just show you. I'll have a couple of these on the mat first of all, because I'm just conscious that you need to actually see what I'm doing. Trying to be neat. But like I say, do let me know if you want me to show you the bundles, the colours bundles that are in the group thread. But do make use of the bargain prices. Hello, Janice. Lovely to have you join us on YouTube. Right, now to begin with, what we're going to do is 1 seed bead, 1 bead, seed bead. So we're going to do 1 block colour first of all. Seed bead, bead, seed bead, bead, and you do that 4 times. Just use the tip of your needle. Now this is a form of right angle weave, but don't get too hung up on it, because I know some people, the thought of all of these different names in itself can create a little bit of anxiety in people sometimes. Now we are going to shimmy that all the way down to the end. Well, not all the way down, because what you want to do is leave about 4-5 inches of tail so that we can actually add on our clasp at the end. Now go back through. Janice says, love my nails. Thank you. I was really happy with it. Nice bright colour. If you can't do it during summer, when can you do it? Now we're going to go all the way back round. So that's what we call reinforcing. And we are going to tie a knot once, twice, like so. And we are going to push our needle back up through that seed bead at the end. Now when you're doing blocks of 4 like this in a weave, right angle weave, you're always going to borrow one from the previous row. So this is going to be our shared bead. And after that shared bead, you are then going to add on a bead. So I'm going to do a different colour this time, followed by a seed bead, a bead. Now you want 4 of the beads on, but only 3 seed beads. So we've got 4 beads, 3 seed beads. Now this is our tail. This is your working thread. Your working thread is coming out from the top. You want to complete a circle. So therefore you will go from the opposite direction to form that circle. So that's, if you imagine, is creating a circle. So we're going to pull that nice and tight, like so. So you see how you've got that shared bead, and then we're going to push our needle until we come out of this one here, which means we'll be reinforcing half of it. Everything okay for you all so far? You can hear me, you can all see me okay. And then let's just pull that tight, like so. So your actual tail will sit in a slightly, or may, depending on when you've put your knot, slightly wrong place, but we'll actually move that later on. I'm going to go on to my third group of beads. This time I'm coming down the seed bead. It doesn't really matter which way you're coming out of, but just remember that is going to be your shared seed bead. So next we add a bead. So you want 3 seed beads in this group and 4 beads, bicones. There we go. Now this thread is coming out from the bottom. To complete the circle, we go down at the top. Pull that nice and tight. And then we're going to reinforce to bring our needle out in the middle of the group, ready to start the next row. Janice says, so far, so good. That's excellent. Janice, do you find it better to watch on YouTube? Does it flow better for you on YouTube? It's just interesting to get people's feedback. So there we are, so far so good. And we'll carry on. So we go back to the emeraldy green colour next. Janice says they're such a delicate blue. They're really lovely, aren't they? And I love this sea green colour and how it works with that as well. Let's just bring these over a bit. One. So again, you want 3 seed beads and 4 seed beads alternatively. Sorry, 3 seed beads and 4 beads, because that's going to be our shared seed bead. So the thread's coming out from the top. To complete the circle, we come up from the bottom. So Janice says, either really, I couldn't find you on Facebook, so tried YouTube. Happy either way. People have said the last couple of weeks that they've struggled to find me on Facebook. I do launch it from the page now, because the platform I actually use won't let me do it from the Facebook group, which is where we used to do it from. So that's coming along quite nicely. And then the next group, just tighten those up a bit. The next group will be our turquoise blue. So it's pretty simple so far. Ah, you don't get a notification like normal. Even though you've said that you're going on there. That's disappointing. You just never know with Facebook, do you? Thread coming out from the top, so we come bottom. And then we'll reinforce So as you can see, this is quite a pretty pattern just on its own. So you could just stick with this one. But that's not what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to show you all of it. Now, we'll straighten it out the next little bit when we do the next row. Oh, I want a seed bead there. So what have you all been up to today? Has anybody been making? Anybody been crafting? Seed beads kept coming off. I've been to Bradford-on-Avon today to meet a very close friend of mine, and we try and meet up every couple of months if we can. And it was lovely. We sat by the canal and we had lunch together. She lives not too far away from Glastonbury, so it's kind of a halfway point for us. We used to meet at a little place called the Barge Inn, which is absolutely beautiful, but we had terrible problems with the parking. It's one of these where you register your parking, and we were getting debt collector letters saying that we hadn't registered our car and we needed to pay a fine, and it was a right old faff when we had. Anyway, it's all sorted now, but we're not going back there. It took 3 months for them to sort. There's nothing like meeting up with your good friends, is there? There we go. Janice says, I'm trying to get set up home care and respite for my elderly and sick parents. It's a... oh, I don't know what that word is. That's quagmire. Sorry, my terrible vocabulary knowledge. Sorry to hear you're having problems setting up respite for them. It's very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult when, you know, your parents aren't as sprightly as they used to be and need support. But then it gives you peace of mind, doesn't it? It does give you peace of mind. Kim says, Carrie and I have been making a mess with weed membrane. Oh, is this doing your garden, Kim? Is this when the backache kicks in the next day? It's been a nice day though, hasn't it? There was a little bit of rain, but generally a really nice day. Hello, Francis. Good to have you join. Francis fell asleep again, just woke up, and I really wanted to watch this. You haven't missed too much, Francis, but at least you'll be able to catch up on replay. So Kim says yes, doing the garden. Do you know, I'm really fortunate. My partner does all the gardening. I find gardening very uncomfortable on my back. I had a steel rod attached to my spine when I was very young, when I was 13, for a spinal curvature. And whilst it's absolutely amazing, you know, I've got no complaints. The surgery was very successful and I've been very fortunate from it. However, sort of bending and locking in a certain position for a long time does not bode well for me. And I'm very fortunate that my partner does it all, and he's very good. I'm very good with plants. I'm all right with my orchids. My orchids sit on the kitchen window. They've lasted quite some years. Kim says we haven't had any rain, just cloudy, on and off. Jan says, looking forward to making this when I get home on the Isle of Wight at the moment. Oh, how lovely, Jan. Isle of Wight's beautiful. I haven't been there for years and years. So as you can see, it's coming together quite nicely. And don't worry, like I say, that's a bit wavy. That will sort itself out. Now, obviously, because these are sort of non-branded bicones, they aren't always as uniform as like your branded ones, but when we finish it, you'll be able to see that it's actually really beautiful. So these are like an emeraldy sort of emerald stroke, very sea foamy green. Ouch. That's your 4. Thread coming out this way, going up from the bottom to complete that full circle. So Kim says that's why the border is going to be gravel with loads of tubs, so I can sit on my thug step to weed in future. Yeah, it's quite demanding, isn't it, gardening on your body? Keeps you fit though, doesn't it? But then, you know, I have to keep fit in other ways. I'm back on my bike. I'm happy about that. I might squeeze in a bike ride after the live and take advantage of the light nights while I can. Right, so we're doing good for time. Now, just one thing to think about as well is if you've spent quite a long time doing this, is you might want to think about maybe using your sterling silver components, especially if you want to sell it. You can always increase, I think you can add money on to the price of things when you've added a sterling silver clasp. So there are sterling silver lobster clasps in the group thread, and I can order them upon request anyway, so I can sort of get multiple lots and they come very, very quickly. And to be honest, they're probably cheaper because of my postage to order from me rather than order elsewhere, because the postage costs so much with other companies. Let's see, you've got four beads, 3 seed beads. You go through that shared one. Now I'm wondering whether it's next week we've got our auction. I will have to let you know. All the beads and all of the stuff for the auction is on order, and it is absolutely beautiful. I'm so delighted. Now, some of you have asked for a few items that you didn't get in the last auction. I'm pleased to say I've been able to get all of them, and lots of new things as well. Some really beautiful things. The problem is they're so beautiful. I don't want to part with them. I'm just going to have a quick drink. Right. It's still a bit small. 1, 2, another 3 groups, I think. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so coming out from the top, therefore we go up the bottom to seal it. I don't blame you, Kim. Kim says she's starving, so I'm going to cook my dinner whilst watching. What's for dinner, Kim? What's for dinner today? I had a really lovely lunch today. I had brie and grapes sandwich. How different is that? I love brie. Normally you do sort of brie and cranberry, don't you? And yeah, it was yummy. And it's a bit quiet in our house this week because our youngest, who's 15, has gone to stay with his older sister for 11 days. And he's in absolute seventh heaven because she's got 2 dogs, one of which is still a puppy. And he absolutely adores them. He's just got this permanent grin on his face because he's surrounded by these beautiful little dogs. So he's very happy, but it's very quiet. It's very quiet in the house. Kim's having steak. Very nice too. Right, need a little bit more. Do take into account the length of your clasp as well when you're doing this. And you don't have to use lots of different colours. You can use one block colour if you want to, but it's a lot easier to teach you, I think, when you've got you know, different colours. It's a bit easier for you to visually see. Right. I think that's going to be a wee bit tight, so we'll do a little bit more. How are we doing? Nearly half past. That's great. It's good for time. All following okay so far? Please ask any questions if there's anything you're not sure of. I should have said that I'm using about 1.5 meters of thread as well. Hi Sandra, lovely to have you join. Hope you're well. And do make sure you check out my YouTube channel. I'll put up the link in a bit as well because, you know, I must be cracking on for about 190 tutorials on there now. 1, 2, let's add a few more. And there's all sorts on there. There's anything from bead embroidery, wire wrapping, kumihimo, macrame, lots of things, bead weaving. Jan says, all good. Looks really easy. Good. Yes, there's loads on there. Absolutely loads. And if you could drop a thumbs up and a comment and subscribe, that would be amazing because it'll just help me with the algorithms and it'll probably just bump me up the visual, you know, showing other people, so to speak, going on their feeds. Right, okay. Now, so that's where we're at so far. What we actually want to do now is we add an extra row at the top and at the bottom, but it's not the full 4, it's just 2. Now, what we're going to do is position our needle out through here, through that, and then through that seed bead, next seed bead. Now, what you want to do is look ahead. Here we've got a pale blue and a turquoise blue. So you pick up a pale blue, then add a seed bead in the middle, and then you add a turquoise blue, like so. And that marries up with where we're going. So we're going over these 2, and we're going to pop our needle through that seed bead there. So I'll just show you again. It's coming out of that seed bead there. You're copying the pattern of those 2, but putting a seed bead in between, and you're going through that seed bead in the middle there, like so. So pull that through. And that's how it sits. Now our next two is your deep blue and your seafoam green. And in between that, you want a seed bead. And I need a few more seed beads on my mat. So that's going over those next two. You've got a seed bead in between those two beads we're adding, and then we're actually going through the seed bead in between that next group of two to anchor that down. Pull that tight. Let's just have a quick look. So you see how pretty those petals form. Jan, the bicone beads, the bigger beads, are full mil, and I'm using size 11 seed beads, but you can use size 10s as well if you want to. So I'm going to use the green one. We've got a seafoam green, a seed bead, and then the pale one. And we're going to skip over those two and go through the one in the middle of the next group, the seed bead. Pull that through, and this just really makes it sit very nicely. Next group is a light one and then a dark one. A seed bead in the middle, and then we're going to skip over to the seed bead in between the next group and anchor it there. How does this all sound? So carry on with that. You've probably heard me say it enough now. You just continue with that pattern. Now, if you can get bicone gemstone beads, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would work well. As I said, I showed, if you missed the start, I actually showed you what it looked like with faceted round beads. It's not as nice. It doesn't interlock as nicely. It's still workable, but it's a bit rustic. So I guess it depends on how particular you are with how things look. Kim says, all good. Excellent. It's a pretty quick pattern. I really do like that. Jan says it's so clever to see the flowers appear. Love the bicones, isn't it? But you don't sadly get the flowers appear when they are circular beads. It's really the bicones that give it that little pop. You could also make earrings out of this. You could also make a necklace. You could do a choker necklace. You could join them both together to make a long line necklace and then have a drop in the middle. But do let me know, have you thought of anything that maybe you could do? These would actually make, if you've got either you or anybody else that's going to like a festival like your Glastonbury, where people like wearing the flower headdresses, this would actually be quite pretty on the forehead, is maybe attaching some elastic around the back. You know, it depends how authentic and different people want to be. It'd actually be quite nice as a little vine down the back of hair as well, for maybe a wedding or a prom, or maybe little groups of these. Rings, we could do rings, couldn't we? Now we've nearly come to the end, and then what we do at the end is we're going to shimmy over to the other side and we're going to repeat this sequence the other side. This is a very satisfying pattern, it really is. Oh, Kim, I like that. Kim is saying that they'd look really nice around a fedora hat. Oh, they would. I love that. And you could have a few different ones as well, couldn't you? So that you could maybe mix and match depending on what outfit you've got. Right. Now, we've got to the end of that. Loving these colour combos. We're going to circle our way round. Whoops. It's stuck around my ring. Let's take my ring off. Janet, see, you've got Janice's creative juices going now. Oh, I need a hat, says Janice. There you go. Great idea, Kim. Annette is thinking earrings. Absolutely. Right, where are we? Bear with. So we are going to go down here. Is it down here? Yeah. It was where we tied the knot. So I think it's a bit tighter than it should be. Right. I hope I don't crack that bead. I've got a horrible feeling I might. Bear with. Right. No, that's okay. We're sorted. Right, why is that? There we go. Having a little chat with myself. Let's tighten that all up. Right, now we're going to repeat the same. So we're going to do a green and a blue with a seed bead in the middle. Is that coming out the right? I don't think it is. No. No, that's not right. It's not right. I'm going to undo. It should be here. Right, I'm just going to go off camera a second whilst I do this. Make it a bit easier. Kim says, stitched on cuffs on a blouse, jacket or jumper. That's a nice idea too. Cool, you're flowing. Flowing with ideas, Kim. Oh, blast. As you can hear, it's not quite going to plan, so bear with. Bear with. I'm getting in a right little fuddle here. That's it. Why does that not look right? I think I've gone wrong at the end there. Excuse me chatting to myself. Right, anyway. I think that's okay. Now, if I just cover that up so that you can see, so I should be coming out of this middle one here, and then you want to repeat the colours. So it's an emerald green, seed bead, and the turquoise blue. And then we're going to stitch that one in between the two. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. That's much better, isn't it? I think this needs just tightening up there, which we can do afterwards. So you're just going to repeat the same down the side here. Blue, seed bead, and turquoise blue. And then you stitch in between. And then the next one. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Emerald or sea green and the dark one. I haven't confused things, have I? Let me know if that still sounds all okay. So we've got lots and lots of ideas. I do like the fedora hat. Or fedora, isn't it? Fedora. You could have a slightly elasticated element to it as well, couldn't you? So that it's easy to slip on and off. Right, I think I'm going to have to start a new strand. Right, that's too dark. All so far so good. Nice, isn't it? Really pretty pattern. So let me know if you think you're going to give it a go and what you're going to make with it. Got to go. We'll catch the rest later. Loving the pattern. Thank you for joining. Glad you enjoyed it. And then we should have enough time to show you how to attach the final elements on the ends. No, that's not right. Need that one and a light one. But you can really play around with the patterns on this as well. Carrie says that's my weekend sorted. Kim says yes, going to drop it. I think you mean try it. Do you, Kim? Was that a predictive text? Oh, just managed to catch that. Kim says I'm going to do a crystal button. Oh, I like crystal button fastening. How lovely. Fab idea. I haven't done any of those for a little while, have we? Crystal buttons are really nice. Also, if anybody's got an allergy to metals, that's quite a good one to do. I thought that's what you meant, Kim. Predictive text is an absolute nightmare, isn't it? I sent a message to someone the other day, and I don't know about you, but I often print off what some of my emails because I find them easier to read and take in the information. Well, I was just about to stick it in the recycler, and then I reread what I'd actually put, and what I'd meant to say was, sorry, I hadn't made it, it wasn't clear. Wasn't quite clear. And yet what I'd actually written sounded really dreadful, and it said, I was quite clear. And I thought, oh my goodness, how rude is that? Isn't it awful the way, we lead such busy lives that it just, to me, that was right. You really need to step back and take some time to actually read what you're typing. So I did actually write back to this person and say, I am so sorry. You must have thought I was really rude saying I was clear. And it meant I should have put I wasn't clear. So yeah, absolute nightmare. It's not good, is it? We lead far too busy lives, don't we? Let's just switch that one over for another one. We're coming to the end of it. No, 1 and 2. So we're coming out at that seed bead there, except we're going to go all the way down to the end. There we go. Isn't that lovely? Now we're going to go through that end bead. Grab yourself a clasp or whatever it is you're going to do. And what am I doing? 3 on each. 1, 2, 3. Then go through the end. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Kim, I'm going to read your message. I just caught my eye. I think it's rather funny. So we go the other side. So let's just show you before. I've got 3 either side. So we're going 3, go through the hole, another 3, go through the hole, and then reinforce. So you go back through all of those. Once, and then a second time at least. You might want to go through it a few more times, but just bear in mind that the more you do, that shared bead is going to start getting tighter and tighter. And then what you want to do is actually tie it off. So you go in between thread before you pull it, go through the loop. Now I've actually snapped the thread a bit further on, so I'm going to actually cut this up anyway. So I'm not going to tie off too many times, but you tie off, I'd say 3 times. So Kim says, messing earlier with someone and was talking about Daisy being a cockapoo and saying, I want a poo without the cock. And it got mad. Oh, Kim, what are you like? Oh, not messaging. Oh, dear. Where's the... Just re-thread on the other side. Now you might want an extender like this one. I've got loads of those available. Or you could just have one of these, which is a soldered ring. There we go. So have we gone at the right place? No, we haven't. Would help. So you want to reposition your needle. Coming out of that shared middle bead. I meant a puppy like a Carvapoo. Hello, Maria. Lovely to have you join. Maria is from Connecticut and she is watching on YouTube. Lovely to have you join. She says that is beautiful. I'm so pleased you like it. Thank you for that. I don't know how much you've managed to watch, Maria, but you know, you can watch it on catch up after the live as well. Oh, where's the little lens? So we go through that soldered end there. So I've added 3 seed beads, going through the soldered end. Just need a few more seed beads. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Thread coming out from this side. We go up this side just to complete the circle, and then you'd reinforce and go back round. And then tie off. Love the colours for the summer. It's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful colours. And then we are going to tie off in 3 different places. So you're just going to go between the thread, and before you pull it, just go through that loop and pull. And then what you're going to do is you do that in 3 different places. Now, as I said, this is just a sample. So I haven't actually, I'm going to take it apart because there's a bit I wasn't happy about the security of the thread. So let's just go back a bit. Oh, why is that not? There we go. So that's all completed. It's a really, really pretty pattern. So we've talked about some ideas. We've talked about the fact that this would be a lovely band on a fedora hat. You could use it for hair accessories. You could use it in even with your crochet to edge sleeves. You could even put this in a bridal dress around the yoke or under the bust. A necklace, a choker, a bracelet, lots of different things. They are 11O seed beads and 4mm bicones, Maria. So that's that one. Then, of course, you've got that different colour. I can't show you the one of them because I've taken them apart. It's a pink one. This is using circular beads, which is not quite as neat, but still quite nice. So do let me know. Do you want me? I'm going to show you some of the combinations. Now, let me just give you the link to our YouTube channel first. So that is the YouTube channel. I've got about 185 tutorials, something like that on there that you can watch. Any help that you can give me to give me more visibility, liking, giving me positive comments, watching some of the YouTube tutorials. This is my website, but more often than not, sorry, I'll leave that on for a bit longer, because we have such a big turnover of stock in the Facebook group. That's where you can buy most of the materials. Now, even if you're from America, I still do ship abroad as well. Francis says, lovely. Annette says, beautiful. I'm so pleased you like. So there's lots of bundles at the moment. Now I am going to just very quickly going to show you some of those bundles, and you can see now they are such a good buy. Because they only work out at £3 each, and whether you use them for this project or you use them for something else. So this is the red bundle, so literally, I mean, they're really long strands. Let me know if you want me to show them this way or face on. You might find the face on easier. Do let me know. Maria says, oh, the last one, blue and black, is so regal. It's actually lapis and very dark blue. It's nice, isn't it? Frances especially loves the pink ones with the opaque and clear. And Kim says that looks lovely. Thank you. So we've got these bundles. Comment in the Facebook group. Those are like frosted with an AB coating on them, which are really nice. And this is an opaque red. So that's one bundle. And then the next bundle we've got is AB coated. And then we've got 4mm baby pink. And you've got some more of those frosted ones as well. Okay, so they're really nice. Well, they're all nice. And to be honest, you know, even if you bought them all, you'd still be just so cheap. I love loving these. I think Kim, we were talking when we were doing, excuse me, the last live, and you were talking about the sort of cappuccino colours, weren't we? The neutrals and cappuccinos, they're very, very in at the moment. So I thought the pink goes really well with these three colours. So you've got like a champagne, maybe champagne, and we'll call that prosecco. So they've all got like hints of pink in there. So I thought those were a really lovely combination. But £3, honestly, you can't go wrong, and they're really light as well, so they won't cost you much to pay for your postage. Maria says beautiful colour hangs. They're nice, aren't they? So this is the one that we did tonight. So that's your three colours. That's in the group thread. So you've got your beautiful turquoise blue, and you've got your sort of light paradise blue and a seafoam green. So you've got all of those. The neutrals, that's right, neutrals are wonderful. I've got quite a few neutrals in my necklace tonight. Maria says, I like to see one with all the colours mixed together. It will go with anything you wear. Do you know what? I did actually, Maria, but I cut it up during the tutorial to use some of the beads. Right, this is a blue, very blue one. Now, I've ordered them as different colours, but I've got to be honest with you, the blues look exactly the same, the dark blues. So anyway, you get two blue strands and one pale. Love those, such nice quality. And then we've got a grey black. We have got other bundles, but there's not many of those left. I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm really drawn to black colours, and I'm not a black person at all. I particularly like this. So you've got frosted AB black. You've got like a grey crystal and an opaque black. So those are the different colours. Let me just go off the overhead and let's just show you. I think you might get a better. Okay, so we've got opaque black, frosted black. Oh, you can see these much better this way. Francis was suggesting that the other day, which I think was a really good shout. And grey. So we're nearly finished. Nearly finished. Let's just show you them dropping in the... Hang on. 1, 2, 3. The blacks is a really lovely combination. I really like that. So that was your blues. But look how they glisten. They are so nice for £1 each. You really can't go wrong. I think you would get a bracelet and a pair of earrings out of them, or 2. But £3 for a bracelet, buy yourself a sterling silver clasp and you'd really cover your money so well. So this is the one I did tonight. So you've got your light blue, turquoise blue, turquoise green. Okay, that's that one. Only got 3 left. Prosecco, champagne and pink. So nice. Who knows you'd pay £3 for that? Amazing. I have got one bundle which has got 5 in it because of my last off for £3 as well. I'm surprised that one hasn't gone yet. Okay, this one you've got your frosted, your opaque and your transparent. Let's put that one in the middle. Let me know which are your favourites. Finally, although there are more in the group thread, but yeah, those of you that are on YouTube, if I could ask you to subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. If you want to go on if you want to receive my regular newsletter, hop onto my website beadsbyvachil.co.uk, and when you land on there, if you ask to be signed up to the newsletter when it comes up, and you'll get regular updates as to what's happening and when I'm on Jewellery Maker. That one doesn't show up so well on front facing, so that's your frosted, your pink and your AB. There you go. So Kim says her favourite is the black. Brilliant. Well, we're a few minutes over. That was the mixed one, Maria. I've just taken a bit off the end. So I do have some mixed bundles, but I needed 4 strands to get what I wanted from it. Anyway, do make sure as well that you share your mates in our Beaders of Beads by Vachil. We're coming towards the end of the month, and at the end of the month, that means that we have a monthly draw, and you could win a £5 voucher to spend on whatever you wish. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you very soon, and take care. Bye.